When I got to play Robert the Bruce originally, it was a very exciting moment because every single Scottish kid knows the story of Robert the Bruce in the cave with the spider. So when we did Braveheart, the film just stopped at that point. And I was like, well, it would be wonderful to be able to tell the rest of the story of how Scotland actually got its independence.
Braveheart's one of the movies that made me want to do this as a career when I was in 9th grade when it came out.
Show him to me! Show him to me! I am Robert the Bruce.
He is as big of a part of that movie as anyone who made that movie. I mean, basically narrates and tells the story as well as plays one of the pivotal characters because he kind of sets up all the dramas based on the arc of Robert the Bruce, who actually was called Braveheart by the Scottish people, so it's a really interesting story.
It took us 11 years to make this film, and I don't know why it took so long, but in a way, it was because it was meant to happen right at this point.
Amy, come and mark.
The version of the story was set in France and in Rome and in England and in Scotland. It was jumping around on a gigantic epic historical landscape. We came up with the notion of trying to make it more intimate about this family of people who live on a croft and basically have nothing, but they find this guy who's at death's door lying in the snow, and it's Robert the Bruce.
Morag is a Scottish peasant woman. We meet her at a pretty tough time. She's looking after the farm all by herself. She has the children. Her beautiful Scot is her life and her light, because the love that a mother has for her son, just the strongest thing.
In that process of making it more intimate, we actually ended up making a far better script than we originally had. It became a story of mothers and the sons who go off to war and die generation after generation.
Her father fought in the wars, her 2 brothers. Her husband also fought with Robert the Bruce and died of wounds in the battlefield. So she knows hardships, she knows a really hard life, and she's a very hardy woman herself.
The story is about the soul of Scotland. So that was really the story which we ended up telling.
I was especially honored, I think, when I showed up and met Shodas Wallace, who's kind of the as official as you can get for kind of stories like this, to have someone like that around who knows everything. And
I'm a historian. I'm also the 14th Shawnee, and what that means is the storyteller within a family. So the people who stood beside Wallace, they've passed that story down through the generations. So I'm the 14th generation to see this. It kind of completes something for me on Braveheart, and I think it's important to be done because it's like the pre-story to Wallace. Who was he? Where did he come from? But what happened to Bruce? That's a very important story, and I feel honoured to be part of this.
We're at a very, very, very important moment in Scottish history, I think. Sometimes a film which is historical and isn't set in modern times can almost reflect on the condition better than if you were trying to reflect on it, here and now.
The integrity of the film and everything behind it is deep, it's strong. I believe this is going to be a great film.